Hi, and welcome to English-Fabule. Are you learning English? Great. Let's learn English with a very interesting story. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's get started.
It was a cold December morning in 2025. Many families across Germany were still sleeping, resting after their Christmas celebrations. Suddenly, a loud fire alarm sounded at a Sparkasse bank in Gelsenkirchen. Police officers quickly arrived, thinking it was just a small, common problem, perhaps a broken alarm system. However, what they discovered inside the bank was far more alarming. The scene they found was truly shocking. There was a large, perfectly circular hole cut cleanly into the bank's very strong vault wall. This work seemed impossible. The entire vault room was in complete disarray. Thousands of individual safe deposit boxes were torn open, and their valuable contents had disappeared. This was not simply a robbery. It was a deeply unsettling violation of trust. Investigators quickly understood that this crime was huge. The criminals must have worked for several days to achieve this. They did their work quietly during the long Christmas holiday, a time when the city was quiet. How could anyone spend so much time inside a bank, making so much noise, without being noticed by anyone? As the enormous scale of the heist became clear, officials realized this could be one of the largest bank robberies ever in German history. This brought forth the most important question: who were these mysterious criminals, these ghosts who left no trace? And how exactly did they manage to plan and execute such a seemingly perfect crime? 2. A perfect plan.
The criminals did not choose the Sparkasse Bank in Gelsenkirchen by chance. They made a very careful plan, like drawing a detailed map for their crime. First, they studied the bank's location. They saw it had an underground parking garage right next to it. This was a key part of their strategy, offering a hidden and direct way to access the building. They also waited for the perfect moment, the long Christmas holidays in 2025. They knew that during this dead time, the city would be quiet. Bank security would likely be less watchful, making it easier to work for days without being seen or heard. It seemed the thieves knew the bank's secrets very well. They understood its complete layout, where the main vault was located, and precisely how its security systems worked. This deep knowledge made police believe there had to be an inside source. Someone from the bank, or with very close ties, must have given them critical secret information. Who could provide such detailed help? This question became a central mystery for the investigators. A critical event happened during their operation. On Saturday, an alarm went off at the Sparkasse Bank. Police officers arrived to investigate. They checked the building from the outside, but found no visible signs of forced entry. Believing it was a false alarm, they left the scene. This dismissal was crucial for the criminals. It meant they could continue their work undisturbed for the rest of the long holiday weekend.
But even with such a clever plan, they faced a massive challenge. To reach the safe deposit boxes, they had to break through the bank's main vault wall. This wall was made of many meters of very thick, reinforced concrete, designed to stop any attack. Ordinary tools would be completely useless. The criminals needed extremely powerful, heavy-duty equipment, perhaps machinery used in construction or even for military purposes. What kind of strong, specialized tools did these criminals bring to achieve such an impossible feat? The right tools. The criminals had a perfect plan, but they needed the right tools. The bank vault walls were very strong, made of thick concrete with metal bars inside. Breaking through this would be a huge job. It was like trying to dig through a mountain with a small shovel. Ordinary tools would not work. This was the biggest challenge of the whole plan. The thieves found a special machine to help them. It was a heavy-duty core drill. This was not a tool you could buy at a normal store. It was a large industrial machine used for big construction jobs. This drill could cut a clean, round hole through the strong vault wall. But using such a powerful tool came with big problems. First, the drill made a lot of noise. It vibrated strongly, and the sound could travel far. The bank was in a neighborhood with houses nearby. If people heard the noise, the police would come quickly. So the thieves had to be very careful.
They worked in secret, taking a great risk with every turn of the drill. Second, the core drill needed a lot of electricity to work. Where did they get such a massive amount of power? And how did they stop the loud noise from reaching the outside? These were big mysteries. The criminals knew they needed solutions for both power and sound. But the answers to these questions would only come later. With their plan ready and these powerful tools in place, the criminals waited. Christmas Eve was coming. Soon the bank doors would lock for the long holiday weekend. The city would become quiet, and no one would be watching. The time for their daring operation was about to begin, and the clock was ticking. 4. A quiet crime. While many German families celebrated a peaceful Christmas in late December of 2025, a secret crime began. Across the country, people shared meals and opened presents. But in Gelsenkirchen, at a Sparkasse bank, a different kind of work was taking place. It was quiet, but very intense. A team of criminals was inside, far from prying eyes, busy with their dangerous task. The thieves were highly skilled and worked without a break. They used a large, powerful core drill. This machine made a lot of noise and vibration as it cut through the thick concrete of the vault wall. It was a risky job, but the criminals were careful. They knew they had to finish before anyone found them.
On Saturday, December 27th, an unexpected event happened. A fire alarm in the bank went off. Police officers quickly arrived at the scene. They checked the outside of the building. Finding no visible damage, no broken windows or doors, they believed it was a false alarm. They left the bank, unaware of the hidden activity inside, and everything went quiet again. This alarm had been a test. When the police left without seeing anything wrong, the thieves gained confidence. They knew they could continue their work. For the rest of Saturday and all through Sunday, the disciplined team kept drilling. They slowly made a clean, round hole, perfect for their entry into the secure vault. Finally, after working for 2 full days, the criminals reached their goal. They had breached the strong vault wall. Inside, nearly 3,000 safe deposit boxes stood. The thieves worked fast and systematically. They forced open box after box. Documents, valuable jewelry, precious metals, and large amounts of money spilled onto the floor. More than 95% of the bank's safe deposit boxes were emptied.
The vault floor was now a mess of broken boxes and scattered fortunes. Millions of euros in valuables lay ready for transport. The criminals had finished the first very hard part of their plan, but a big challenge still remained. They had to escape with all these stolen treasures. They needed to leave the bank and the city without being seen, without leaving any trace of their departure. How would they manage this final, critical step? 5. A fast escape. The thieves had worked tirelessly for 2 days, emptying nearly 3,000 safe deposit boxes. Now, the most important part of their plan began: the escape. Inside the silent bank vault, they moved with purpose. They loaded millions in stolen cash, precious gold, and valuable jewels into large, sturdy bags. Each bag represented someone's life savings or cherished memories. They carried these heavy bags through the silent building to the underground garage below. A black Audi RS6 was waiting there. This car was not just any vehicle, it was perfect for their fast escape. It was known for its very strong engine and could reach high speeds quickly. More importantly, it had a lot of space inside, enough for all the stolen goods. This careful choice of vehicle showed how professional and well-planned the criminals truly were. They had thought of every detail. Grainy security camera footage from the parking garage captured the tense moments. Several masked individuals, their faces hidden, were seen getting into the Audi. One person then used a remote to open the exit barrier. It was the early hours of Monday, December 29, 2025. The city was still quiet and dark before dawn. The powerful car sped out of the garage.
Later, when police studied the video, they found a frustrating clue. The license plate on the Audi was stolen. It did not belong to that black car. Instead, it had been taken from a car in Hanover, a city located more than 200 kilometers away from Gelsenkirchen. This clever move made tracking the vehicle almost impossible for the police. How could they possibly follow a car that, according to official records, did not truly exist on the road network? It was like trying to catch a ghost. The Audi, loaded with its illicit cargo, vanished into the pre-dawn darkness. The silence of the city covered its swift departure. The long, quiet crime was now complete. But as the sun slowly began to rise, a different kind of dawn was breaking. Soon, the devastating impact on the 2,700 victims would be revealed. Their lives and their trust were about to be shattered. 6. The sad people. The sun rose, but it brought no joy for many people in Gelsenkirchen. The perfect crime was over, but its sad story was just beginning for almost 3,000 bank customers. People started to arrive at the Sparkasse Bank. News of the robbery had spread fast, and a large crowd grew outside the building. Soon, hundreds of people stood there. Their faces showed anger, worry, and deep sadness. Many had tears in their eyes. They shouted, "We want to go in." They wanted to see if their things were safe. Police officers were there too, trying to keep everyone calm.
It was a hard job as the people felt lost and betrayed. Each person in the crowd had a story of loss. One man, old and tired, spoke to a reporter. "I could not sleep," he said. "I had my retirement money in my safe deposit box for 25 years. Now it is all gone.
Another woman held her husband's hand tightly. She cried for her family heirlooms, old jewelry from her grandmother that had no price in money. These were not just things, they were parts of their family history. Many victims learned a hard truth. Their insurance would not cover everything. The bank's basic insurance was only 10,300 euros per box, but the stolen items were often worth much more. This made the people even angrier. They had trusted the bank to keep their most valuable things safe. They felt that trust was broken forever. Some families from the Turkish community in Gelsenkirchen were also there. They had stored gold jewelry and important papers, things that were very special to their culture and family life. For them, the loss was even deeper, touching their heritage and sense of security. It was a terrible day for the community. Their lives were suddenly very different, turned upside down. The criminals were gone, but the sad people were left behind with empty boxes and broken trust. Their only hope now was with the police. Could the police find these smart criminals who had disappeared like ghosts? It seemed almost impossible. 7. The police search.
The police began their difficult search for the criminals. It was a very hard job. They found few clues at the Sparkasse Bank. The hole in the vault wall was clean and round. It showed that the thieves used very special, heavy tools. The police knew these criminals were not new to crime. They worked with high skill, like true professionals. This made the task for law enforcement seem very large and difficult. Investigators looked closely at the security camera videos from the parking garage. They saw a black Audi RS6 car leaving the garage. Several masked people were inside. This car was known to be very fast and powerful. But there was a big problem for the police. The car's license plate was stolen from another city, Hanover. Hanover was more than 200 kilometers away. This careful step made it extremely hard for the police to find the car or the people. The Audi was like a ghost car on the roads. It had no real identity that police could easily track. The police also looked for an inside source. They believed someone from the bank might have given the thieves secret information. How else could the criminals know so much about the bank's layout, its quiet times, and its security weaknesses? But after many questions, there was no easy answer. No one at the bank seemed to have helped from the inside. This was another mystery.
Every small piece of evidence the police found, like the professional drilling and the pre-planned stolen license plate, showed them one clear thing. This was not a normal, simple crime. This was a very well-planned and complicated operation. The criminals were highly clever and organized. They did not leave many mistakes, unlike usual thieves. This made the police's work much harder. They felt like they were hunting shadows or ghosts. Days turned into weeks, weeks turned into months. The police worked hard, examining every detail, but they had no arrests. No one found the stolen money, gold, or family jewels. The victims waited anxiously, but there was no good news. A sad and chilling thought began to grow among the investigators and the public. Maybe these thieves were too good. Maybe they had planned everything perfectly. The Gelsenkirchen bank heist could become a mystery that no one ever solved, a permanent mark of a perfect crime. The 8 big questions. The Gelsenkirchen bank heist sent big shockwaves across Germany. After this crime, the entire country's banking industry had to make many changes.
They quickly realized that old security methods were not strong enough. Banks needed to completely update how they protected money and valuables. This meant new rules and much stronger security systems for all bank branches. They looked at everything, from the vault walls to the alarm bells, making sure such a crime could not happen again easily.
Thousands of victims faced legal battles after losing their life savings and special items. Many customers felt the bank should take more responsibility. They went to court, trying to get more money than the small insurance amount allowed. These fights were hard and long, showing how deeply the crime had hurt families. People had trusted banks with their most precious things for years. This trust was now broken. The public began to doubt if any bank could truly keep their belongings safe. This deep loss of trust became a lasting problem for banks. The Gelsenkirchen heist showed how vulnerable traditional bank security was in a modern world. It made everyone see that even the strongest vaults could be broken. This event was a major turning point, changing how people thought about safety and crime. Even years later, the people who committed this crime have not been caught. The huge amount of money and valuables they stole are still missing. This case remains one of Germany's biggest bank heists. The story of the Gelsenkirchen vault breach is a chilling reminder of a perfect crime. It shows that some questions may never have answers, but its impact on banking and public trust will be felt for many decades. It makes us all think about how we protect what is important to us. What kind of new security ideas do you think banks should use to stop such clever thieves in the future?
Hey there! Just a second before you go. If you learned something new today, please give this video a like, write your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe to the channel. It only takes a second, and it really, really helps to create even better English videos for you. Your support means the world.